Hi everyone, and welcome to this episode of IWWOF Talks Business with a quick reminder to some of our new audience members of what IWWOF is about. So IWWOF was born as a Facebook digital group in 2019 in August. And since then, we have been welcoming more than 5,100 members. Our purpose is to allow all women living in Finland to connect with each other and supporting them in the working life. And more specifically about the IWWOF Talks Business with series. So our purpose basically is to have this online webinar series where we invite some of the most interesting change leaders from some of most innovative companies in Finland to connect to our community. And at the same time, we want to broaden our community's horizon by meeting these wonderful leaders. So today with us, we have Priyanka Banerjee as my co-host. Then we have Anna Kosonen of Nordea, the head of community engagement, and then Pirjo K Kuusela, also of Nordea, the head of corporate social responsibility. So thank you very much, ladies, for joining, and the floor is yours.
Welcome, Anna and Pirjo.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. And let me just share our material, and then we are ready to start.
Great. Thank you so much.
Very happy to be here today.
Yes.
And let me know when you can see it. I'm trying to have it in full screen mode. Should be now.
Yes.
Yeah. Pirjo, will you start?
Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Pirjo K Kuusela, and the background is economist and teacher. And I am also internationally certified a professional business coach. Made that almost 20 years, and I am pioneer in Finland's corporate world, I could say, in this business coach. In 2011, Finland's Coaching Association elected me as a coach of the year in Finland, and it was honor. I get energy from other people, and I am well-known, strong, human-centered leadership style. I have worked in manager position as 26 years, finance and insurance sector. And I think that people is at the heart of business. Anna, your turn. Anna, we cannot hear you.
Now you can.
Okay.
Yes.
Great.
So my name is Anna Kosonen, and I have my background in social sciences and business. And when I was still studying, I already had a kind of a vision of what is it that I want to do. And I always thought that I would like to be creating a positive impact for the society and at the same time work in a large corporation. That was in the 1990s, and even sustainability wasn't being taught at that time. No one knew really what that is. So I could say that it's been a long journey from there, but I think the vision of what I want to do has helped me. I work now 18 years in finance. I worked with corporate customers, personal customers, wealth management. I've been an expert leader. I've been in Nordic roles, in Finnish roles. I worked in group people, group communications, and group sustainability. So kind of a wide sort of all kinds of things along the way. And then having an open-mindedness always to ask that what can we deliver more for the society? What can we do here better? That yes, we do have the business impact, but what more? And I've been so delighted how business has changed during the recent years, and it has given us really an opportunity to do this in a wider scene also. And now I believe the vision has helped me, but also the collaboration. So 2016, I met for the first time Pirjo. And I think ever since that, we worked with kind of creating and implementing the community engagement that we today have in Nordea. And we are really, really happy to share the story here today. Yeah. So this is the kind of where we are right now. Pirjo, do you want to say what we are going to walk through during this presentation?
Yes, this is our agenda today. So some words from Nordea as company. We are strongly value-driven bank. And then we are going to use our time community engagement journey. And then there are some time also for questions.
Yeah.
So let's
Yeah.
do it.
And that's us. We did the
That's
introduction already. Yeah. So,
Okay, some words from Nordea as a bank. Nordea, well, in total, 29,000 employees at the end of 2019, serving our 10 million private, corporate, and institutional customers. And we are helping our customers realize their dreams and aspirations. And we have done for that 200 years. In Poland and Estonia, we have teams supporting the Nordea Group in different areas, like direct support to bank branches in Finland and Sweden, and also call center customer support to Nordea Finland customers. We are leading bank in Nordic countries and one of the biggest bank in Europe with strong capital and liquidity. We serve our customers through presence in 20 countries, including our 4 Nordic home markets, Denmark, Finland, Norway, and Sweden, and operating through the numbers of 500 branches. And here you could see from the slides our numbers, like 9.3 million household customers, small and medium-sized companies, 530,000, and large and corporate institution customers, 2,650. So we really impact in society, I could say. And then this next slides, please. Sustainability and community engagement, some words from that. Our ambition is to act and to be perceived as positive contributor in society. Actual Nordea is again ranked as one of the top 100 most sustainability corporations in the world by Corporate Knights. Corporate Knights has analyzed over 8,000 companies against global industry peers on site of up to 24 quantitative key performance indicators and weighted to reflect each industry impact profile. The global 100 companies represent the top 1% in the world on sustainability performance. We commit to using our expertise, products, services, and relationships to support and accelerate the fundamental changes in our economies and lifestyles to achieve shared prosperity for both today's and tomorrow's generations. And some examples contributor. We as bank are dedicated to align our business with the global agenda, such as the SDGs, United Nations Sustainability Development Goals, and Paris Agreement. We engage in the communities we were operating business in by supporting the financial skills of children and youth, helping senior citizens to use digital tools and service and supporting entrepreneurships. And that's why the pictures is what you could see from here. And the next slides, please. And some words from our values. We are very strongly value-driven bank. Growth with us is the message for all employees and the customers. Nordea has a long history of working with values, and we are, as I told you already, a strongly value-driven bank. And we have many of our top management new leaders, and they told us that this is something amazing because they have learned already a couple of months that we have to give feedback each day, each other. That's amazing. Together we lead the way, enabling dreams and everyday aspirations for a greater good. And our values, what you could see here, on the carpet. This is actually carpet. Collaboration, ownership, passion, and courage define our behavior and help us make the right decision and for the greater good, the whole society. And so, Anna, how all about this is connected to community engagement?
Yeah, I will now next share you our community engagement story. So we were really kind of that these values were launched 2016, and this is also the year when our world looked like this when it comes to our community engagement. So I will tell you a personal story also how it all went. 2016 in January, I was working as a deputy head of a region of 300 people serving our personal customers. I was new in the role and I was being asked to do something to make our people be happier and also customers could be more satisfied. And I thought that I've seen quite a lot of different programs for these kind of things. And I thought that maybe it's time to look for something new. And I talked to many of my people in my network, and then I talked to some of our sustainability experts, and they mentioned that there is a compassion study made by Helsinki University. It's a long study. It takes several years, and they are looking for companies who would like to participate because they believe that compassionate working environments actually deliver better results and people and customers are happier. And I thought, well, why not give it a try? And then after quite many discussions, we decided we'll participate in this study. We were the first financial institution ever to research compassion. So there were quite many cultural barriers for this one, but in a good way. I mean, very good open conversations, like what could compassion do in finance? And there were two ways to increase compassion skills among our employees. The one was that we trained people leaders with compassion skills. And then the other one was kind of a new way of doing this. We gave permission for our employees to do volunteering during working hours. And then it was being measured whether this volunteering actually increased the compassion skills, which it did. And we had a few organizations that we worked together with during those days that could actually make volunteering possible. And one of those was called Taloustaito, Economic Skills Program. It was slightly a coincidence that we chose that one. And they focused on young people who had challenges with their own life and which escalated also as financial problems. And we gave permission for 300 people to go volunteer to support these young people. What was a total surprise for us was that almost 80 of them joined the program. That was like, it was something that we never expected would happen, because it is, after all, you are going to a zone where no one can tell you before how it will go. You have to go there as yourself. There is no role from work and anything can happen. And I know that people think that, what if I can't do it? What if I fail? There is a lot of emotions you have to think through when you participate such a thing. And so many people wanted to do this. Like, you're having a question, yeah? Go ahead.
I don't know if it's so much of a question, but more of a big applause, because I mean, of course, I know this story and I know how it ends and I'm a big fan of it, but I want to relate to what you just said, that out of 300 people, 80 joined, because I didn't know that part of the story. Mm-hmm. And I think for me, it's amazing, like, especially as a foreigner in Finland, I'm a big fan of Finland and the Finnish culture, but I think one of the recognized, let's say, behaviors in Finland is the shyness, or a little bit introvert. Yes. So in that sense, for so many people at once, to have the courage to say, I'm going to do something new. I'm going to do something which I'm not particularly trained for, or where I don't have like all the keys and codes how to do it. I think must have been indeed a huge surprise for you. So I think that's very impressive. And I can imagine when you saw the list that you were probably like, oh my God.
Exactly.
So that's amazing.
Yes, because we didn't expect so many people to do so. So it was also a challenge to organize so many opportunities for volunteering, find all the young people that needed help. But I think the key for this one was that the people leaders joined first. They showed example. And I think that was the thing. We've used it also after this, that if the leaders show example, everybody has courage to do it, or people have more courage to do it. And also we trained people. So there was a training day. And also after the training day, you could decide if you don't want to do this. And you also did it in pairs. So no one was left alone, and these components are still with us. So we still follow these footsteps because it lowers the barriers that you may have, and quite often people do have these barriers. While I was working with this compassion project, there was another project going on in the group. So our marketing was going through our sponsorship contracts, and it seemed that we sponsored a lot of sports and culture, and they were kind of thinking, is this the right thing to do? Is this what we are the strongest for? What does it say about us? And I don't know how and why, but they got to know what I was doing. And also it was kind of just, creative thinking. I had to finance the compassion study somehow, so I had to terminate something else. So I had been terminating sports contracts because I thought that, well, maybe we should support financial skills. I didn't have a theoretical thinking there. It was just, I was in a management role where I had to solve a problem quickly. And I was being contacted, would you like to come and share your story? I was like, okay, but why? And so I went to Stockholm to join the team, and I told my story. I totally out of the context, like why and what you're doing. And they all listened and nodded, like, would you like to join our project group? Do you think you could do this in the whole Nordea? And I was like, let's see.
So
and of
from
course,
300 people to 29,000.
Yes, exactly. I was like, well, it might be a little different story, but why not? That's the honest truth for the whole story. And yes, of course, I joined the team first kind of part-time and then full-time. But we in this work we really defined the core competencies also, like what do we actually stand for? And what was kind of clear is that, of course, I mean, we do have the financial skills, we support entrepreneurship all the time, but why that's important? Because we want to prevent the kind of exclusion in the society. People have sufficient skills in financial skills in entrepreneurship. We can increase well-being in overall society. And we also acknowledge that digital skills as part of your financial skills is even more important, because how you do banking, how you pay for things, and all of that, it goes more and more digital. It wasn't so much in 2016, but how quickly it has actually changed. And now last year changed everything for good.
Authentication everywhere.
Yes, yeah. So that was the starting point. And 2016 also, we had been, as I said, we had been focusing on sports and culture, and we were really regional all over the places. So only in Finland, we wanted to be very active locally. So we had been sponsoring local sports clubs and local kind of cultural events and activities. We had altogether 700 sponsorships. And then the conclusion was that we should focus on financial skills and entrepreneurship and not sports and culture. You can imagine what kind of a message that was to deliver for the branches who had been working closely with the sports clubs. It wasn't good news only. Yeah, but that's when it started. kind of boots on, the actual work. And why financial skills once more is that, yes, people in the Nordic society, and this is for the whole group, so not just for Finland, but wherever Nordea operates, this is the financial skills and entrepreneurship focus is everywhere. But we think that financial skills, it's the basic skill that people should have, and also it is something that for some reason we've expected that children just learn, and then one day they are adults, and then they know how to save and how to take loans and all of that. But it doesn't happen accidentally. And quite often skills like entrepreneurial skills are kind of inherited from your families. So if your parents don't know how to teach that, children will struggle with the same issues. And this is the same trend we can see among entrepreneurs, that if your parents are entrepreneurs, the children are more likely to have own companies also when they grow up. But if you don't have any examples in your family, how do you know? How do you ever have the courage to do something like that? And we were also thinking, like, if we are not as a bank taking the responsibility of it, is who then in the society? I mean, nobody will do this if it's not us. And since then, we've been also very actively, this is what Pirjo's team is doing on a weekly basis, being in contact with schools, supporting the teachers, and this is more and more right now also I believe something that the schools are focusing even more, that how do we support the children to learn the basic skills of financial skills and also entrepreneurship. And I see that also 2020 changed it for entrepreneurship skills, because we've been quite trusting that, you know, we are employed and then everything just goes fine. But then what if that's not the truth? What if you are not sure whether you can continue in your job? What if you are not having a job for the next 3 months? If you know how to start your own business and you have the skills, you can actually depend on yourself as well. Yeah, go ahead, ask.
Just was thinking, like, what kind of financial skills? So you just said with the schools. So what institutions that you are working with? And because I have always wondered, and I think me and Karo one day we were talking also that we should have financial topics in schools. We should be like trained, because even today people don't know how to invest or how to save or where to do what. So other than school, so school is really great, but what all institutions you have been doing this?
Pirjo, would you like to answer this when it comes to financial skills?
Well, yes, we have a lot of those. We have, for example, TAT, which is Me and My City environment learning concept. Then we have Vamos, financial skills, when we are offering youth those financial skills workshops. We are coming to back our presentation to this part too. So there are no one target. We have several of those, or 4H or that kind of organizations.
But they are all non-profit organizations that already have this kind of shared goal of doing this. The challenge has been that they may not always have all the resources and so on. So we've been able to support that. And if I go to next slide, like 2017, that was the launch. This will also answer your question, like, because that was the question for us also. So where do we do this? Where do we find a ready-made solution? And the right answer was that nowhere. So what we started doing in 2017, we started negotiating firstly with Me and My City. We had been sponsoring Me and My City before, but then we contacted them and asked whether they would like our employees to support them as corporate volunteers. And we created together with them roles for what could corporate volunteers do. So they were supporting the youth workers and teachers during the day. But we did the same with many other organizations, like, for example, with Plan.
Yes.
So when people move into Finland and then they need training, how do we operate here? Then we were also training there. One big thing that helped us a lot during 2017 when we launched this new way of doing sponsorships and community engagement was that it was Finland's 100th birthday. And during that year, the Prime Minister's office launched a Finland 100 program. And all companies were able to apply to be part of this program. And there were a lot of different initiatives how we celebrated Finland's 100th birthday. We applied also to large corporates, kind of a segment, if I can say so. There were over 100 applications, 60 were chosen. And what we did, we decided we will not launch a product or a service or a marketing campaign. We will launch our community engagement. And we announced that we will support me and my city. And we will also establish a new unit, Startup and Growth, to meet up the expectations of fast-growing companies who had been since then kind of companies who didn't have a clear banking service because they were too risky for traditional banks. And we decided that we will tackle this program, and we launched a unit who still spends significant amount of their time for mentoring and supporting and kind of finding investors, private capital investors for the startups. And yeah, so we did this. We also worked with other partnerships, and as you can see, we decreased the amount of existing sponsorship contracts. So we came down from 700 to 350. This was a big, I would say, it was quite hard work. It was, yeah, Pirjo, would you like to share?
Yeah, I just want to underline that I and Anna, we walk and talk the all management groups that we found from the organization first 3 months. We just walk and talk.
Yeah.
I don't even know how many management groups we run, but we fly for the whole Finland, and also, of course, the Valila, which is our headquarter and campus, but maybe 100 management groups.
Yeah. And it was, I think it was also kind of a cultural change that people start thinking differently, but also as Pirjo showed us our values, the values were launched 2016. So this was a kind of a perfect fit how to demonstrate our values. And I think it was also super fun to do the roadshow and go tell this message. Yes.
Yes, without going maybe too much in the details, but you said going from 700 to 350 was not an easy feat. So did you have like a simple classification table that was helping you to know like you guys are in, you guys are out, or how did you manage this?
We actually are measuring each initiative with the same measurement. So we compare it to what we want, so kind of return on objectives. And then we discuss with the potential ones if there is a kind of a common will to develop the partnership so that it would fit better. So yeah, but we had a common kind of a measurement way. So it was very objective how we evaluated everything, and we had conversations with the partnerships and so on. But I think it was also a way to communicate what we do and how we do, and we didn't get single kind of a negative feedback. But it was still quite emotional when you've been working with some of the organizations for quite many years, and then you say goodbye. So it's not either always easy to do a change like this.
I have like an additional question to what
you have a question.
In terms of the culture change in the company. So you said that it's not easy, and definitely when you launched the values and changed this internally, also there probably must be a lot of discussions going around how to go forward. So as an organization, how did you manage that culture change? How did you let the whole company know that this is what we are doing? And how did you get the buy-in from people that, okay, this is what we are now doing and going forward with this?
I'd say the key recipe for success was that our management supported this fully, and they communicated it also, starting from the very top of the organization. That was, I cannot describe how valuable this is, that everybody is kind of standing behind this, that the top management in Finland, they volunteer themselves. They do it. They did it last year, they did it the year before, they did it 2017. And that is still, it's leading with an example. And I think that's a powerful story. And I think it's also what we've experienced with Pirjo quite many times, that people take this quite emotionally, also in a way that they feel that I am allowed to do something good. And when you understand the value of what we do for our work, I believe people who work in financial sector, they do have quite good financial skills, but then you forget that this is not what everybody else has. And then you understand it when you go and support what great difference it makes, that just telling what you know can actually change somebody else's lives. And I think these stories, when just anyone in the organization experiences it this way, and then you share it, no matter where you work in the organization, on the top, or if you are just started and you have the similar stories, and you feel kind of you're equal in these roles as well. So I think this has been, which has helped us a lot when we got it started. And also, when we changed this, 2017, we launched the volunteering guidelines, which allows each employee in Nordea to volunteer 2 days per year during a paid working hours. So that's also, it's your right to do that. So it's encouraging. It's not something you need to apply for, but this is what is asked from you, that would you be kind and participate. Yeah.
Like now listening to you and feeling to read those stories, do people share that on any platform? Maybe we should
yes, they do that.
They do, and we do, and everybody shares. Yes.
And we cry.
But yes, and it's what I said, it's touching. Emotional. So it's quite often that people really react to, they are bursting into tears when they think of it, like this is what we can do, and what a strength it can be also, especially during the hard times. And so, but yes, we do share it, but we also have to acknowledge that we are still in the very starting of this journey. It's been now only a few years, and it takes so much time that it will be something that everybody knows. But one by one, more and more people get to hear about it.
Yeah, and I think that's actually a good point, and it was going to be one of the questions maybe when we start to get to page 2019 that how far you are in the journey. So I think this is something we have discussed with all the guests that we have had so far in this episode, is that everybody's on a journey. Nobody goes from 0 to 100 with any type of transformation. Talk about diversity and inclusion, community engagement, radical change in your methodologies and ways of working. So it's very good that you are openly and honestly saying that this is a journey and you're still kind of at the beginning of it, though you have had some very good success, which we will hear about very soon. And that you want to keep going on that track and learning from that and grow the program as you go. So thank you for your openness on that topic.
Yeah, and I don't believe we are ever there. I mean, with this kind of an activity, you will never be in your final goal, because everything keeps changing in the world. World is never ready. So that's also 2018. I would lift up that the amount of sponsorships. We were squeezed into 50. Which is quite a low number compared to the starters. We had 2005 300 volunteers already joining. And then Pirjo, would you say a few words about what was done within digital education?
Yes. In Helsinki alone, we provided guidance on electronic authentication, which is key for the most of the digital services nowadays, in 35 libraries each month. Think about that, 35 libraries each month. Our volunteers were there guiding whoever, not only Nordea customers, but the citizens. And the key of the most of the, we also experienced new success when 120 volunteers from markets dealing room participated in digital guidance sessions in libraries on Saturday in October 2017 and 18, because they cannot be out of the market time Monday to Friday, so they have to do this volunteer work on Saturday, sorry, and it was amazing case because this encouraged a huge number of employees from other functions besides our field organization to be as a volunteer. Our market dealing room specialists are not selling our products, or they are not our electronic authentication specialists, but we teach them to guiding the seniors, and they did it. It was amazing story. And on that year, more than 60% of our volunteers worked with the digital guidance.
And I think that they showed example again, like you don't have to be the kind of the
specialist.
You don't have to be the specialist to do something, but you learn and you have the stakeholders in your company who can teach you the skills necessary and also the impact that most of this work was done for elderly people who struggle. They come there with their iPads and they ask like, how do you open it?
Emails.
Exactly. So it's really kind of like human collaboration.
Yes.
Yeah. 2019 was the success year. Our upper management decided that we will organize super weeks for volunteering. So we dedicated 2 weeks in October so that 1,000 volunteers from Nordea could join. And of course, if you have 1,000 volunteers during 2 weeks, you will need at least 4,000 who need your help. So it was quite a big challenge, but it was also quite remarkable activity in such a way that this is when first time people outside Nordea started being more kind of questioning, like, what is it that you're doing? This was noticed in media and so on. So it was also worth it that you have to do something really, really big to get noticed. And the total volunteer amount during the year was 4,000 out of 7,000 employees in Finland. So that's 60%, and that was like, you know, that hit all the records and expectations. I think this could be the championships of Finland in corporate volunteering ever made. At the same time, our startup and growth unit had already 80% market share of growth companies, which was quite a remarkable impact that when you are mentoring and supporting and going beyond your traditional role as a banker and financing with banking loans, you can actually make a difference also within the market. And this is what community engagement at its best is. It's not just employee engagement. It's not just impact on society. It's also business development. It's also business impact. It's customer cases. It can deliver lots of different kind of things when you really are able to implement community engagement in so that you get all the people involved. And this is why I believe in it much more than I believe in sponsorships nowadays, because even you're having a sponsorship, you pay to receive something that you already know in advance. But when you do community engagement, it's it's basically it's collaboration where you collaborate non-stop with the organization throughout the year, and you react to whatever happens. And 2020 really happened, didn't it? So we didn't know 2020 in January what was about to happen. And March 11th, I remember that day because I got a text from my manager saying that stay home, don't come to the office. And that's where I've been at home ever since, just to say. And then I called to Pirjo at, what is it? What are we going to do? We've got our calendar full of, events, volunteering activities. What do we do? And it was like, okay, we need to sleep overnight. We don't know. But again, I think here the vision helps. That what is it that you want to achieve? So the vision is that we want that in the future people do really have the financial skills and they are able to start their own businesses. They know where to get support. And at the same time, last spring, people needed that more than ever. So it took us a week and everything was digitalized. We contacted our partnerships. We had, now I'd call them partnerships. We have 17 today, actually. And we contacted them, asked what's their plan? How are you going to change what you're doing right now? How can we support? What do we need to learn? We started testing different ways of doing. We changed all the material and workshops into digital format. We started training our people. We started inviting them to join new volunteering programs. And I mean, of course, it affected us, but in both good ways and not so good ways. So we weren't able to get as many volunteers. The estimate was 2,000. We had 1,000. Last year was a challenge, but what we got also, MTV is there as a symbol. They joined us twice last year. First time, what we do in financial skills, how we teach them. And then the second time, because we organized for young people, they have these TED weeks when they go to corporate life for 1 week from school to get to know how working life is. And we changed that into digital as well. So we've had lots of those young people also during last year. I will let Pirjo soon tell about the awards here, that is, but 2020, that's where we were, and 2021 will look pretty much the same, but we will continue the work, but in a digital format. Yes.
Great. Thank you so much. And because I have the presentation, I know there wasn't a 2021 slide, so I can ask now a question actually that came in the chat about the 2021. So first question is, how can a company or organization that actually would have a project for your employees to volunteer for, that would be in the same, of course, type of topics, can approach you and get a discussion going?
They can approach directly to me and Pirjo. So it's us, basically. We are working in different business areas, but driving this together. Yes. And then we also have on Nordea.com site, there is an own page for community engagement, Nordea in Society. And there is an application format also where you can apply and apply for partnership with us.
Okay, great. And I'm sure Priyanka is already looking and typing away to find that page to put it in our chat. So I can see her typing, so that's wonderful. Okay. And then the second question. Yeah. But of course, and otherwise by LinkedIn, I guess, to contact you. But
of course, by LinkedIn, any channel, but it's basically us. Yes.
Good. And then the second question, sorry, Priyanka, you want to say it yourself or?
Yeah, I can ask that question. So I was also thinking, because in 2019, you mentioned that you had Super Week. So how does it go, like, in general now? Are all these volunteering activities spread out across the year, or do you have specific time of the year when it's happening, so that we know if we, for example, in future, any of us or any of our organizations or people who are here want to join, what to expect, how to reach out, and keep those timelines?
It's ongoing all the time.
Okay.
Yes, it's ongoing each month. we do have some plans that you know, but it's right now it's a challenging time. But what we do each month, we have new activities all the time.
And do you publish it somewhere on your community page or
web page?
Yeah, Nordea.fi. So the application format is Nordea.com. Okay. So it's for all, depending on kind of regardless of which country you are sending it. But Nordea.fi pages, we do have the partnerships that we are doing currently, not the special programs that we are doing right today, but the partnerships we are working with. That's where you can find them. Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Great.
Just a short wrap up of, you know, the results. So looking at the employee angle, these are the feedbacks we've been getting. People feel their work is more meaningful now. People who have participated in volunteering are significantly more satisfied than people who have not yet. So
we have this people pulse research.
There's also a result for the compassion study. Also, we get feedback from the customers. The reputation has been better now, and also this is how we've been. What has led also to positive business cases. So it is. We started from the community engagement and for greater good, but it is also good for business. So I think everything that I said in the beginning about the compassion study, I can say that, yes, this is a good thing, And we also nowadays, we have a quite clear setup, like we have the materials and contents and ways of working. So we just keep doing it and doing it and doing it. So we don't always have to start from this kind of zero, but we have a ready-made material and content and trainings, and we have a certain way of working with the partnership. Here you can see some of the partnerships that we have, but in total it's 17 today, and of those I'd say that less than 10 are like kind of the ones that we work on a continuous basis on a weekly level. At least today even I've had partnership meetings with 3 different partners, so it's really an active collaboration all the time that we are doing. And then one of the results here, Pirjo, go ahead.
Okay, this will be the last PowerPoints that we have. Nordea Don't Let Money Break You, the community engagement sponsoring program, won the Finland Best Sponsorship Award on February 2020. As well, the public vote for the award. So we won 2 major prizes from the community engagement journey. And we will have say thanks to all our employees, because this is their journey. And the prize award criteria you could read there, what Jyri has stated. I would like to also underline that as a result of this victory or award, Nordea was able to represent Finland at the European Award Gala. And Nordea sponsorship program has already been ranked last week, actually, among the 9th best in Europe, and shortlisted as a potential prize winner. So we are going to keep our mind cool, but our heart warm. And the award gala is 25 February in London. Yes.
We are crossing the fingers for you, because it's really amazing. And like you said, of course, 2020 has been a tough year for everybody. But you were saying 60% of the employees in 2019. I mean, that's an amazing achievement. So I really hope that
thousands
so many people. So
thousands of hours of work for Society Direct. Yes. And the next page, this is the summary. Would you say something?
So do you want to? Should I go?
So we have maybe say everything important already on this time window. I think that this show that this is ongoing. Every quarter we do activities. Every week we do activities. Every day we are making a dialogue with our partnerships and school network. So this is ongoing, and this is our DNI.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, ladies. And we have one more question online that just to clarify one more time that this volunteering is now offered to the Nordea employees,
yes,
not to people outside of the Nordea, but of course, like our hope with this one is that we can, all of us in the IWOF community, share the recording we will have of this episode to our companies and say that, can we please do something similar? Because I personally think this is awesome. So I'm going to be like, you know, rooting for you guys to have other companies take this model. I think it's pretty amazing. And you have detailed the journey very well, which I think also is, you know, it's one thing to say, oh, we were there in 2016 and now look at us, woohoo, we are so great. So the fact that you have really detailed the journey, I think really helps a lot to understand what was the process and the framework and the work that went around it, and how you had the influential use of the leadership, not only to sell the program in a way through all these leadership management talks, but also how you got the leaders to sign up first and so on. So I think this has been like a really rich session that gives us and other companies like so many insights of how to potentially start this up. And I'm sure there is probably other article or let's say informations on your website that how companies can do this. So I personally believe that volunteering is something very important for society. And in that sense, I think if every company could do this would be really something that can not only the company help the company itself or the employee itself, but just really improve the society at large. So I feel very passionate about this topic. So thank you so much for sharing the journey.
You mentioned like we can take it to the other companies and ask them to do the same. So because Anna and Pirjo, you started this project in Nordea, just to end this whole discussion and this note, what would you recommend to a company who are starting their journey to have any CSR activities or initiatives? They're trying to develop something. What are your, let's say, top 3 things that you would tell them that, okay, this is how you can start? You have mentioned quite a lot throughout the presentation, but just to summarize it shortly.
Yeah, I think it can also vary from where you work, what kind of a company. But I think for us, the key to success has been that we have a very clear focus areas. It's not employee volunteering, but it's employee volunteering for certain things. So I think this is something that needs to be defined by each one of the companies themselves. What is it really? Is it a narrow scope? Is it a broad scope? How does it fit to your overall why your company exists? Because I think this is how you can reflect that. That's number 1. Number 2 is that you need to get the most kind of influential people onboarded in this one. So I think having the support from the management, having the support from people who can influence others is essential, because this is scary and this is new and you might fail. All those things, it's emotions. I mean, this is bringing emotions into business, and this is not how we are used to behave. And therefore you need also the people who say that this is okay, this is what we want you to do. That's to, and then I think one is what I think is also that start with something small. If you are, I mean, it's better to kind of think, what do you want to achieve in quality than quantity, because you don't know what tomorrow will bring, and there will be lots of things that will not go as planned. So start with something small, and then just, you know, repeat it and repeat it and repeat it, and invite more and more people. Because if you're able to create something that really is valuable, also the people who join, they will recommend, and then suddenly you are in a place where it's unstoppable. People will tell it on behalf of you, but take everybody there to get there. I mean, starting small is also that don't try to first build a nice big program that's ready-made. But when you start small, you are asking people, what would you like to do? Can you add something to this one? I need your help. Can you support me with this one? And then people start solving the problems themselves. They are creative, and suddenly it's not us who are doing, it's not Pirjo and me who have done this. It's really not us. It's everyone.
Everyone.
And I couldn't
take
say
a little
that
bit
it's
of
us.
credit for it, though. You did do it.
Well, it's been us calling each other like,
Okay.
what do I do now?
We need that.
But it's also what I said in the beginning. It's collaboration. Like
Yes.
like there is, we are not kind of, we are in a different places in organization, so no one is asking us to collaborate, and yet we do it on a daily basis and even on Sundays. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
Wonderful. Hey, ladies, we are a couple of minutes away from wrapping up. So
Thank you.
I think this alone might actually inspire people to join your organization. So what could you say in a few words about joining Nordea, and what kind of like recruitment skills are you looking for at the moment? If you can share a bit on that.
Yeah. Well, do you want to Pirjo start, or should I go?
Well, different kind of skills, I could say it. And we have www.nordea.com page open positions, so you could whatever day go there and put your application.
Yeah, and we do have people from working in Finland from over 40 different countries. So we are also working, we've got, internal language is English, so I think it's quite easy to join also, even if you have a background in not in any Nordic countries. And then one thing that maybe you heard already when we introduced ourselves, the possibilities are endless. So when you get in, there are so many things you can do, and that's always been encouraged, that you can jump from one role to another, or even create your own, like what we have done here.
And actually, we have at the moment 700 job descriptions, so you could choose what to do.
Amazing.
HR, communication, marketing. Product selling, whatever, customer service, community engagement.
Not just financial experts. That's always good to know, because
not just
sometimes people assume. So wonderful. Priyanka, any last word from your side?
No, this has been so nice for me to also understand. In my previous work, I used to do quite a lot of CSR activities. So this was something new, in a financial domain, because my domain was IT. So thank you for sharing the story. It was wonderful. And very
thank you for inviting us here.
Yes.
It's been our pleasure.
Thank you so much. And thank you, Priyanka, for co-hosting. Bye for everyone.
Bye-bye.
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 Bye.